Assume Sam, thanks. Yes, it was a long time coming. It was killing me for that not to be done. I'm glad it's finally done. And now the battle continues. Donut Lord 2072. I'm new to these streams. It's a game dev. We're working on the MonoGame libraries themselves. A little of both. I think today we're going to kind of be working on the library itself. You know, we're using one of our sample projects to kind of test the new Vulkan backend, and I noticed a glitch the other day, and I need to go look at that. So I think I'm going to start there. See, Earth fertilizer are the exact right thing. All right, so yes, the 3.8.5 release went out. We are now working towards some hot fixes after post-launch, as well as continuing work towards the next major release. Which the big things there are going to be things like some new font stuff, some new shader stuff, a new shader compiler backend. Probably some more work on the native pipeline or the native backend, some new work on the content pipeline for the new content builder. Those are all be things that we'll be getting into soon. I also wanted to maybe, I want to continue pushing on Ascent, and it's been a little stuck for a while. I need to get the team here back onto art stuff to get that moving, and I need to really spend some time coming up with what our next steps are technically on Ascent. We have, things are basically working, but we have some performance issues over lighting. We have some performance issues over just too much mesh geometry. Some of it's just the art being built is a little, is a little too high end. And also we need some better ways so we need smarter geometry. And I'm going to talk to the art team a bit about that. But also, I think we also need some smarter ways to cull in order to render what's absolutely necessary, because we render a little too much. So yeah, those are the things that I think that we're going to be doing there. I've been wondering about starting a new template project, new game starter kit. And I'll probably do that soon, just because just to kind of, I guess, to spend the time on something a little different, so it's not always the same thing all the time. If you guys didn't see it, we released the hub to sponsors the other day, which is great. Let me share my screen. We're getting started here. So we were working on, we released the hub, which is is kind of a big reveal, I guess, that we were working on this. That lets people fairly quickly get started on a new project. The hub here somewhere. I'll show it a little bit since it's here. It's not super impressive or anything, but I think it kind of helps show the direction we're headed. And we have the two starter kits in here. This one is still one in development. It's basically a MonoGame version of Kenny's starter kit for city building. And that already runs pretty well. In fact, I'll show you. This is actually pretty cool. The fact that this works at all is great. So the hub, you select it, you select this, what it is, where you want to put it. I'm going to call it my city game. I just want DX12, or if I want both platforms, I can do that. That's kind of annoying. Why does it want to create the project? Huh. I think it doesn't. That folder didn't exist. It didn't clearly say why. That's interesting. So let's say I select DX12, create project. Probably shouldn't pop up that log every time it goes to build. It's kind of technical internals that we don't need. Cthulhu Lover. Burnout is real. Yes, it is. So it popped up Visual Studio over here. We're just talking today on about an issue with the hub that when it creates these projects, it set the content builder as the default. This is a problem with the template that it included the desktop one, even though I didn't want it. But it basically makes it creates a new project locally on your system. So it stuck it in here. So just, puts it in here so you have something to start with, renames everything, you know, and then all you have to do at that point is hit F5 and it builds and runs it. So, I mean, that's a super quick process to go from, hey, I have nothing, to, you know, something that's kind of a starting game that'll actually function, you know. So here's that starter kit. You can see some little glitches and stuff. I was going to look into a couple of these things at some point. Cthulhu lovers, I'm not sure if templates can set their default project. It sort of can. I looked it up a little bit. There is a way to do it, but it only works on newer versions of Visual Studio, so the latest versions of Visual Studio, which is kind of annoying. So anyways, there's stuff there that we need to work on to get this to be perfect, but you know, we'll get it figured out, you know, because we want this to be an experience where you just say, hey, create this, enter 3 fields, hit enter, it launches, you hit F5, and you have something working, right? So, like, this is a little city builder. This is all based on Kenny's starter kit. So just a little city builder that lets you build different things. It's pretty neat. I think that once I get a chance, I think what I'm going to do is do some basics here, like support undo redo, fix it so that we have like currently it does not show different controls. Like it has art for showing mouse controls and keyboard controls, but not like what are the gamepad controls, even though gamepad works. So little fixes like that. Fix it so it does support touch controls, so you can play this on a phone. You know, all those basics that you would think that you'd want to have for this stuff. So yeah, I haven't messed with this thing too much. It's pretty neat. So pretty cool little sample. A cool thing to just start with, and it's like, okay, well then I can expand this and add some functionality. So yeah, you know, all the code is self-contained. It's all in here. So that's all the code for that demo, essentially, or starter kit. You know, so yeah, this is the right path for us moving forward. We've been wanting to do this for a very long time. The only reason that we have it was we just didn't have a good way to provide these things to people other than, you know, here's a download to go get it from GitHub, or here's a zip. You know, Visual Studio has the, you know, new project, and you can select a project from these templates, right? Whenever this thing comes up. But all these things, like, they're just not that good, you know. Make sure I'm not showing anything I'm not supposed to. You know, you can't really, it's just very limited. Like, all you get is this text description, some tags. You know, you have this little icon. You can't really see what it is. You know, the hub being like graphical and having a big image that actually shows up. This is something I was talking to Simon about, that we need to fix this layout. Like, the image should be big. You should be able to see what you're doing. It should have some video associated to it, so you can see some video of it playing, so you can see what it is. Those are kind of important to kind of show these things, and you know, Visual Studio could never do that. It was never going to be this good, and we'd always be fighting, because the next thing you turn around, Visual Studio changes and all your templates break, and you have to take a different path. And also, it doesn't work with things like Writer or Visual Studio Code, so we'd have to do 3 times the work. So this is one tool that works on all those things. So that's the point of it. Yes, it's a starter kit. Yeah. Yep, starter kit, just showing kind of like what's there. But we're going to do more of those things. Kenny has a bunch of different ones. We'll probably pull another one out of here and do it. I know that, you know, we started on another one, but we'll probably get another one started. We want to get through all these and get them all there, so it gives you a good starting point to begin with. And these are great starter kits. Then from there, we have some other ones we're working on, and that includes the Ascent stuff. So let's get to that more here, huh? I probably should show that. Let's see. Where are you? Hang on, I'm just trying to get the project open. There we go. Sorry, it's going to take me a little bit. All right, so what I wanted to check out, and I updated my local copy of MonoGame to the latest from 3.8.5. So what I wanted to do was, one, I wanted to just come back in here and start one of the existing projects and verify. First rebuild. I wanted to verify that nothing was broken after these latest merges. There were a couple of post-launch fixes that people were contributing, which is great. Hoping that those things didn't break anything here. I don't think they did, but it's worth double checking. Oh, it doesn't like something. What did it not like? What is this? Oh, I have some Xbox stuff in here at the moment. That's what that is. Let me disable that temporarily. Yeah. That's another thing that I'm working on, is now that 3.8.5 is out, I'm having to fix the console branches to work from the latest to that, which is, you know, a bunch of work. All right, thing. All right, looks like it built. Let's just verify that things are working here. One of these days. You guys saw the open hour stream. I was super impressed with Tomas's work in his game. The integrated editor stuff is awesome. Definitely a million times better than what we've done here, you know, but still. So, okay, so Ascent demo. Looks like everything seems to be working. Nothing seems to be out of place. So yeah, it's working. Doesn't look like there's any problems here. Anyways, need to work some more on the art, some physics things and stuff like that. I want to mainly just check out and make sure that we're good. Frame rate rise, yeah, everything seems about right there. Yeah, it seems pretty good. Seems to be where it's supposed to be for a debug build, running the debugger. So yeah, good performance, everything's okay. Let's get back. If you haven't seen this before, god damn it, I need to fix that. Visual Studio has a really dumb thing that you have to, if you hit F12, it breaks in Visual Studio. So yeah, our little editor here that lets you kind of edit scenes. You know, Tomas's stuff is freaking awesome. You know, he spent a lot. He obviously spent some time on it. You know, they've been working on that thing for a while. Why is this thing window so tiny, and why isn't it resizable? It's not resizable side to side. That's weird. Anyways, and you know, this UI implementation is pretty straightforward. There's not anywhere near as advanced as the IMGUI stuff. But you know, our goal was always to use different tools in different places. So for this demo, we decided we're going to use this UI system, which gives us, you know, basically what we need for this. In a future project, we might try MGUI, but for right now, we're sticking to this. So it's just a little editor. You can come in here and edit things. Some of these things could be better, but it's good enough. So yeah, that's our built-in tools that we have here, and there's more to be done, but for our purposes, I think this shows a good demo of how that stuff would work. All right, let's get out of this. Okay, we still have some leaks, but we're not getting the leak issues that we had the last time, which is fixes that people did in the repo the other day. So that's great. There is a little bit of a leak here. I'd like to figure out what that is. Let's see if I can find that real quick. It's going to start up and then just shut down. Okay, whatever that was, it's created during gameplay. It's not a leak in just the startup. So that's good. That's good. I'm gonna load a simple scene, see if it comes up there. I mean, leaks happen. Okay, I'm just gonna shut this down. No leak there. So it must be something from the editor, probably. Anyways, the shutdown is now clean, so I'll, for just the core of MonoGame and stuff, so I'm happy with that. We're good. All right, so next is I was going to look at the VK issue. Hang on a second. Music was feeling a little loud. Hello, Mr. Squarepeg. All right, so I was going to build VK. I'm going to hit rebuild just in case. Could it be the couple PRs emerge? Yes. No, absolutely. That's what fixed it. Guaranteed. Yep. Those two PRs were great. They fixed those couple of issues, which I looked at that a million times and I just didn't. It seemed like it was cleaning it up properly, but I think the reason it wasn't was because, it was not unmapping those things. And the unmapping, I think, was the thing that was keeping it from releasing them. Squarepeg, I got a question. Is there built-in occlusion calling in MonoGame? It's not built in, but we do have the primitives. Like MonoGame has the occlusion query objects, which is the old school way of doing occlusion. Occlusion query types are the way that it originally started, right? Like you create an occlusion query object, you start it. You draw your object, you stop it, and then you say, hey, how many pixels were rendered? It'll tell you how many pixels were rendered, but the data is kind of latent. It might not appear till it's too late. So you always have to put in these queries and check them the next frame and decide, okay, the next frame, I know that the previous frame only rendered 0 pixels or very few pixels, so it's okay to maybe disable this object. Those are the kinds of things that it would do. As far as for modern stuff, I mean, there are lots of modern techniques for occlusion query. I'm still of the opinion that, there's two paths you can kind of take. Like, one, a software renderer, and that is, a kind of a greedy one, or one that is fairly simple. But using a software renderer to do a software rendering of bounding volumes or of simplified meshes of the meshes that you're trying to occlude, can do really, really good, where it just renders the depth to a very small buffer. I mean, this is basically how the Doom 2003 did it and things like that. Was it? No, 2013, sorry, not 2003. That would have been too old, I think. I think that's what it is. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. But yeah, they would render basically into a small, they would render depth into a small buffer, like 200 by 100 something pixels, not very big. And by rendering the depth in there of the important things, right, like the environment elements, they could then do a very quick software test on the CPU in real time of whether, something was occluded or not. And that can be super effective because you can write a very, very tight depth-only rasterization routine And I think that that's a very viable approach to doing that. Even in C#, I think that's a viable approach if you write it smart. Because you could be building that in a separate thread while you're doing your physics simulation, right? Or doing something else. You could be building that, especially with the occluders, which most of the occluders are static; they don't move, right? So those things can be built ahead of time, built while you're moving dynamic shit around and doing your game update, and then when it comes time to render, you can quickly check to see in this step buffer, is this thing visible or not? So I think that's a totally viable approach. It's totally something that someone could write into a library that could be then used in C# directly. Yeah, I don't see a reason why that couldn't be done. But yeah, no one's done that yet. But that's something that's on my list of things that maybe I do for Ascent, is something like that kind of occlusion query, because that would be a pretty neat implementation. It gives us lots of building flexibility. And it would be a cool part of the demo to have that. So that's kind of like high on my list of what I'd like to build. I mean, the other ways to do occlusion are things like old portal visualization stuff where you keep track of the openings and you only see things, you can see things through other things, but that has its limitations and stuff. Another approach, which we can't do at the moment because MonoGame doesn't currently have any way to do compute shaders. You can do some of this stuff in compute shaders. But to me, it's like the software thing, I think, is the best thing, especially since everybody now has at least a 3 or 4 core system. You could get away with stuff like that. Mr. Squarepeg, I'm rebuilding Quake 2 engine with MonoGame. I'm trying not to bake things out where needed. I'm using sledge formats for the map parsing MonoGame. Yeah, that's awesome. There's been a lot of remakes of old games in new technology, and I think that's a cool way to learn. Looking through the Quake code, the Doom code, those old code bases, you could learn a lot from those things. Things that they used to do that were so yeah, that's totally something that you could do with MonoGame or with any other engine, really. And I think it'd be it's a pretty cool project. I mean, I remember spending a lot of time on Quake 2. Like, I used to write bots for Quake 2 way back in the day. No bot that really took off or anything like some of the other ones that were out there, but I used to write bots for it. It was kind of a fun time to be experimenting with that stuff. Okay, so I was going to run the DK implementation and see if it was running okay, and then maybe look into this bug. I have my validation on. Like, I had some pretty heavy validation enabled to work out some bugs here. I'm going to turn off that heavy validation. And I still have some stuff here to potentially fix. Oh, that's what that other branch was. I forgot about that. Hang on, let me check. I want to make sure that I probably still have it in here. I was hoping I didn't. I don't think I lost it or anything. Should still be there, yeah. Because I forgot what I was doing last time. So yeah, there's a bunch of code in here that I was doing to work on some of the issues with. Actually, no, that's not in here. I think I just have the validation code in there. I think I put that other stuff in the other branch. That's annoying. Let's fix that real quick. Yeah, it's all in that Vulkan Fixes 5. Yeah, I had just updated stuff, and I thought I forgot that I had already done some work in here. Anyways, so that gets us back to where we were at. I actually should have a commit for the other day here. Now, where is that? I could have sworn it was in here. Yep, I've always liked AdhesiveWombat stuff. Man, I could have sworn that I had some fixes in here. Anyways, I'll worry about that later. Let's get back to the fixes we actually want to deal with. I'm going to turn on this aggressive validation that I had in here. And I want to put this validation stuff and add it to the main repository and set up a way to enable and disable it. I just haven't done that yet. I had some extra code in here for, oh yeah, this thing. That enables some super hardcore synchronization validation, which we definitely need to do anyways, but I don't want to mess with it right now. Come on. There we go. All right, let's see. God damn it. The volume on this thing. That's all I need is like that much. Yeah, Cthulhu Lovers. Binding that into like the configuration stuff would be ideal. I can also maybe look at this load time issue here, this slow startup on this. So there, that's the bug I really wanted to attack, was this. It shouldn't be doing that. Performance looks about on par. It's a little slower, I think, than DX12 right now. We also have validation on, so that's probably why. Anyway, so I have some debug modes here. So first thing to note, it stops updating the shadows. So either that's a side effect that, I mean, either that's the reason, is because it's looking for shadow data and it's not there. I don't think I added a way to disable the shadows. Hang on, let's see. Nope, 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 nope. I don't know what flipped out there. I mean, why would you submit that to Next? I mean, Next is for like big major changes that like would affect people. Like you'd have to change your coding. You know, you'd have to change your game APIs. An internal change like that to make something more efficient, that could go straight into the main branch. I mean, I haven't profiled this, but I will do it here in a minute just to see what where we're at on that. I kind of wanted to take a look at this first.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give
God damn, why does this keep coming up? No. Probably shouldn't be doing that either. I was running some unit tests the other day and I thought that maybe raising an exception would cause the unit test to fail, but it does fail, but it doesn't give it like a red, hey, it failed kind of message. It kind of gives you a shitty, like, hey, I didn't run kind of message, or I failed to finish, not a failure to run the failure of the test itself. So that does kind of suck. All right, come on. I mean, it depends on what the stuff is. What we want to move into next are things that are like big breaking API changes is basically what we want to put in next. Big features that break APIs or change APIs that require people to like I need to change my code to accept these changes, or things that are also long-term. That's going to take a very long time to finish this task, which is like what Vulkan and DX12 should have been. It should have been a long-term task and not something that, that we put into develop, which means that develop can't be released until we finish those things. All right, so this is not going to stop us. So there's a wireframe. All these have different validation errors. I think they're all related to the wireframe stuff. Okay, let's see what this... It looks like that's... See, the clustered total light's not changing. Or clustered light's not changing. Means that it's not like, oh, I stopped seeing that light. That light's rendering. It's the shadow. There's something going on with the shadow. Okay, so it's in this shadow rendering. For some reason, that shadow stops updating. And the question is why? I mean, it stops rendering because it's like, okay, there's nothing to do. I think it might have something to do with some of the optimization I was trying to do there that might be the culprit. Let's go take a look at the code. Because we had at one point some code in here. It was like, hey, don't update the shadow atlas. If nothing has changed, the shadow doesn't need to be updated. And I think that might be interfering with things. Let's see. I have to get back into like how this works. It's been a while since I've looked at it. God damn it. Def Stencil State is only supported on Windows 7.0 and later. Oh, thanks, Visual Studio. I mean, where does that come from? Who's making that decision that Def Stencil State is the only separate? Like, and why do? Oh, great! Thanks for telling me. I am running Windows 10. It should be fine. What is this garbage? Who wants this? Why is that there? Why is this suddenly happening? What is this? This is some crappy AI bullshit, isn't it? See GitHub examples and documentation. I don't want to do that. Where's that garbage going to... Oh, it's going to open up to a window that's going to load up. This is more AI bullshit. An error occurred while loading the examples. Great. Thanks, Visual Studio. Now I got to figure out how to turn this bullshit off. Fuck. I click on the arrow and then it goes away. Fucking A. If anybody knows how to turn that, it's part of the Roslyn analyzers. Did that get enabled because someone enabled it for MonoGame or something like that? How the hell do I turn that off? I get angry because shit is stupid. Like all that is getting in my way and distracting me from what I'm doing. Let's see. So many fucking options. Oh, it's right here at the top. None. Hey, it went away. Yay. Fuck. I don't remember returning that on, and I don't know why it started happening. It wasn't happening the other day, so I don't know what the deal is with that. It's freaking annoying. Anyways, so how this thing works is it draw or is it an update in here? I think it's this. So it comes in here, it gets, it goes through all the lights. So if a light is not visible, it frees the shadow for it, or the area of the shadow map is what it's really talking about there. Otherwise, it adds a shadow map to it. So we're not moving here really. Well, actually we are slightly moving. It's kind of weird that it keeps removing. I mean, actually, I think it doesn't. This probably doesn't do. Yeah, it's not doing anything. Let's stick this here just to. Oh, damn it. I need to figure out how to turn that back on. It's not actually freeing any shadow. It never had a shadow. I'm gonna have to look at that here soon. So I know shadows are being freed, but shadows keep being added. It's not actually adding a shadow. So nothing's being added or removed, but it's still off. So the question is when I come further in, does anything turn on or off? No. So it's not actually on or off, it's just not updating. I suspect that this is the thing that actually does the shadow rendering. I bet you some of them, I bet you if we set this to true, it stops, or if we disable this check, and it always updates, is this gonna, it's gonna cause me to, okay, I gotta fix this. What is up with this cutoff dialogue without a, so weird. Do I actually have a builder, or is this just being stupid? When unmanaged debugging is enabled. Show potential fixes. Completely useless. Okay, I need to disable managed debugging, which is fine for right now. I just want this to work. Thank you. Is that enough to make it work? I don't know. We'll see. But I think it's my keeping track of what lights to up or what shadows to update is the problem. Maybe we'll spend a little time on that today, since I'm already into this. We'll fix this bug potentially. Interesting that it doesn't. I guess the reason it's not failing on DX12 might just be because of. It could be an actual bug. It's not. I bet you the other one is not clearing the render target. One of them is clearing the render target, the other one isn't. So I think it was happening. Okay, so it's still happening. Okay, so it continues to happen. I forced this to a single atlas, even though I have two allocated there. Like it's always rendering to the same frame. Yeah. Both set to preserve contents. Yeah, that'll potentially do it. Yeah, so when it's static only, it clears the shadow pass. Wait, is this related to that? Bothers me is that this works in DX12 and isn't here.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I'm going to have to get rid of the other lights in order to tell what the heck is happening here. Probably going to be the best thing to do to test this is to get it to a situation that it... I don't have a good way of doing this other than just manually deleting all my lights. That's okay though. I would think this is still going to fail. I want to make sure that it doesn't kind of breaking my prefabs here and everything, but I don't care. Just sometimes easier to test if all you have to test against is one case. Okay, it's happening still, so that's good. It's gonna make it a million times easier to just have one light in the scene. We didn't have a tree view or anything, so I can't tell if that's the case, but I will be able to tell in here. One light, okay. So we know there's one light. So every time I test something on the light side, oh, interesting. Oh, go back to this. Huh. It's not having the trouble now. Interesting. No trouble when there's one light. think I saw it happening a minute ago. So let me go back to this. I'm going to undo. Ha. As soon as I have more of that other light in there, it stops happening. Let's get rid of the other lights and leave that one there. Okay, so as soon as that other light's there, it causes trouble. It's not that that one is shadowed. It's not the size of it. It's just its existence is enough to cause it trouble. So that's interesting. You get a small light. So that one light is affecting this other one somehow. So let's see why. So I have a good test case now, I think. Well, I thought I did. Oh, here it went. It's like one gets stuck on. Nope. Interesting. I bet if I turn the shadows off on this one, does the problem go away? It does. So the shadow rendering from one breaks the shadow rendering for the other. Or just the fact that it's rendering breaks the shadow rendering of the other one. So if I come back here and toggle the shadow on this guy, it doesn't break in the, it's weird, it also doesn't break here. It only breaks when time is advancing. This time's paused right now. Wait, does it advance time? I think it does. Hashtag software, yes. Hashtag software. Yeah, it just decides I'm not going to render that one. Visible lights 2, total lights 2, shadowed lights 2. But here it's like shadows updated 2, but it's not rendering some of it. I mean, shadows updated is faces that it's updating, I think, if I remember correctly. It's deciding like it's saying 2 shadows, X amount of faces, because currently it renders all the faces, but at some point it rendering in the game starts running in Doom 3. Yeah, I mean, it's the shadow atlasing is based on the Doom 3 paper, which was, you know, it was the smart right way to do things. You know, those guys were very smart. They came up with the right way to handle it, which is one giant texture, dummy. That's the best way to handle it. All right, so it's just deciding, hey, I'm not going to render that shadow data, even though I clearly need it for the light to render properly. The light's sampling from it, so it clearly wants it as well. And that's what's causing it to fail. And I know it's not, so the question is, why is it stops rendering there versus rendering here? So let's I'm going to move this window over here so I keep an eye on it. Yep. always crib from best. All right, so there's 2 lights. It says, hey, I'm visible. Let's do it. And this one does the same thing, but it takes this other path. If there are any dynamic objects in this area, then we need to update it every frame. So this is where we say dynamic is dirty true. So whenever it has dynamic entities in there, and we're assuming this one's the one that's the problem. How can I tell? I can tell by the color, I think. 1, 5. Let's see. I'm going to change these to red and blue just to be able to tell more easily. And I can name them also. I guess I could do that. Broken. That one's called broken. So now with those named, I should be able to tell more easily what the heck's happening here. Let's get back into my test case. Oh, weird. Put it in a weird kind of place. Surprised the Atlas thing did that. And I guess it just puts it in the first free place it has. It really doesn't matter where it puts it. Anyways. So it works there, then it comes back and says no worky. All right. So this first one is which one? Why am I not seeing the name? There it is. So the first one is the broken one. It's one that isn't dynamic. So it's the static lights that are a problem. So then it comes through here, and it's like, hey, draw shadow. It's got to be in here where it screws up. Logan says, I'm curious, at any moment in the project, did you need to use low-level unsafe C#? I don't know if there's unsafe code in. There might be unsafe code in here. Probably is. I mean, I know that low-level MonoGame uses it in some places. I don't know if if we have any in this code itself. I guess the physics system has a little bit of unsafe code just to copy some memory efficiently. But no, in general, no. I mean, but MonoGame internally, I think, has some here and there. I mean, unsafe code is not any. Is it any more unsafe than C or C++ is? It's, it makes it sound scary. It's unsafe, but it's fine as long as you know what you're doing. So I wouldn't worry about it. And yeah, use unsafe code where it makes sense. Unsafe code gives you a bunch of performance benefit, and it's worth using in places. I mean, more modern .NET does stuff to be more efficient, than it used to be. So unsafe code isn't as required to get some of the same performance, but it still guarantees you some performance. All right. Aha, there's the problem. Static dirty equals dynamic dirty. I don't even know why that's there. This is the danger of writing code and not documenting why you did it. It's basically saying, like, if static's dirty or not, that probably shouldn't be that. I mean, it should probably be this. Oh, God damn it. I mean, I think the idea was that. Okay, yeah. And this is the reason. I had code in here rendered to 2 different paths, 2 different. Basically, the idea would be that you would render to 2 different atlases, a static atlas and a dynamic atlas, and you would combine them both so that you only have to update some shadows some of the time, and shadows that you weren't going to update every frame can stay there. So yeah, I think let's rewrite this a little bit and make this better. So I do want to still do that, but I think everything here is very convoluted to where it was originally. Let's see, when does static dirty get set? I think the idea, what I wanted to do was like, I just have one pass right now. I'm going to do it both. And that's why it was doing this. That's the more correct fix. So I don't know why it wasn't a problem on DX12. So anyways, that's good to know that this was not a rendering bug in Vulkan. It was a logic bug in our high level code. Oh, it's, and I think I know what this deal is here. Okay. I have a better idea what's happening now. So static is never set dirty, and it should the first time it I mean, it does that, but I think what's happening is it's clearing it later. So this is going to be the broken light, probably. Oh, just, damn it. Let's verify.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
That's interesting. This is allocating weird. Let's try to see if it clears on for a second, then comes back off. You know, I wonder if Vulkan is not, you know what it is? I know what it is. It's Vulkan is not obeying the preserve flag, I think. And that's why it's happening. If I rendered this every frame, it'll start working. That's basically why. I mean, that makes sense why damn it, why is it giving me the hot reload problem? Is it just because I have these projects in here? Anyways, if I render it every time, it's going to work. So the issue is that Vulkan is not obeying the preserve flag. because it's working on DX12. It's not working here, which this means that it's a state problem. There's certain, you have to set the barriers properly if you want to preserve in Vulkan, and I think that's what's happening. It's going to work this time every time because it's and I mean, now that makes sense why it wasn't working in DX. It was working in DX12 and not in Vulkan, is that. So that's good to know. Also would make for a good unit test to verify that those things are happening. So now it's reliable and works all the time. Before it was not. Anyways, all right. So let's take a look at that real quick. So now I need to go debugging in native code again. So great. I think that does get set dirty the first time we allocate one, yeah. Sets it, then clears it so that you only render to it once, so it only has to update that one shadow one time until something dynamic occurs within it. All right, I need to turn on our native debugging again. It's very annoying that it makes you, I mean, even this still didn't work. All right. Let's see. This is going to be in our barriers. God damn it. My mouse has been super loose lately. My scroll wheel, if I just touch it, it like takes off scrolling. Okay. Usage. So we store the usage, which is what's storing whether it needs to be preserved or not. And I bet you, let's see, are we using it anywhere? No, I'm not using that flag anywhere. So that's part of our problem. Nope, not there. Yeah, okay, it's going to be up here. It's basically when we restore the state. The swap chain. Where is it? Is it that? No, it's in. There it is. Store up. Load up. Don't care. That's kind of important. That's MSA though. It's not our problem at the moment. It's up here. Okay. Don't care is a problem. It needs to do that. So I need to do, this is for the depth. This is the wrong one too. It's up here. Okay, so target. I'm not sure about that case. But it needs to be first use or what's our flag? So it always stores and load up. Hey, I need it because I'm preserving contents. So I think that will fix it. I think. Anyways, I think that one line will fix it. I mean, I probably need to fix these as well. Like that can't be. That should probably be fixed. But I first want to see whether this works. I'm gonna go from there. Oh, you're right. I have it backwards, don't I? Duh. Caught it. I was thinking first use, it needs to preserve. It's like, no, that's the opposite. Yeah. Yeah, let's just test that. We'll see what happens here. This should be a render. This should be a unit test. Damn it! Could have sworn that was going to fix it. All right, let's see what else is happening here. Well, that'll do it. Oh well, it's not going to do it because it's cache. So. In here. What else do I use first use for? I wonder. The cache is based on. Yeah, that might be a problem. The first use flag is like, did I render it within this first frame? It's basically telling it like, do I need to use one that was that preserves or not the previous content? And so it's using this, but that's probably not what it should be doing. It should probably be doing it here, huh? Yeah, that's probably what I should be doing. No, this shouldn't hurt. I think that'll do it by itself. Yeah, that might do it. Let's see. Oh, it didn't like something already. Let's see. Ignore that right now. I don't know why that happened right there. It's obviously something that I changed. It's probably because it's using that preserve on the swap chain. It probably shouldn't be. Even though the swap chain might actually need to do this too. I think this is just because, damn it, same problem. Let's see, what is it rendering? So that's clearing it, but it's about to load it. This is the first draw into this thing. First shadow map is the first thing it draws. So this is the cache. It's got first use is set false, false, false. It's not a first use. So it's like, hey, I want to load data on all of them.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
So that should cause it to... Do I actually store any of this stuff? I don't think I do. Let's force it to create a new one. So get the first target. That's our target. That is correct, I think. Oh. It's making the assumption that the initial layout must be this. But it's not necessarily. Well, I know it should be, actually. Well, I actually have it, so I might as well just get it, huh? The target knows what it is. I mean, it is in that mode. Problem is that mode is very finicky. Well, it's got to be right here. What are the rules for that? I mean, that's basically what we have to do. It has to be store up store. We're doing that. There must be something more that's happening here. It must be using the wrong. It's got to be just using the wrong thing. Well, maybe if let's try this. I'm going to force it to do it one more time here. And I'm just going to see if by chance I see it flicker on for a second. And it doesn't. It doesn't flicker on, which tells me that this has got to be broken somewhere in here. It's not this path. So it gets here. I'm going to set a breakpoint out here to see what happens when it gets there. Okay, it rendered all the shadows and got out of here without ever changing it again. Yeah, that doesn't help it either. I mean, it's just clearing that static area for just that one static. Yeah, I mean, that should be fine. Wait. What? It's static, clear it. This is because it could combine static and dynamic elements, but it's not doing that. So it calls clear, then it says, hey, render the static to here. Some other shadow that is the one I'm talking about right now. Not very exciting work today, huh? Where did it go? Pin. Is it exciting to watch the process, or is it frustrating sitting here seeing me beat my head against the wall because I can't figure this out? It's not dirty. It's going to skip it because it's not. The light didn't change, so it's not going to do anything. So this one's going to come through here. Come on, where are you? Yeah, I restarted it. I'm looking for the one that has the name that says it's broken. It's not there. Dummy. I'm a dummy. I'll probably save that now. That stops happening. Yeah. All right. Hey, there's a broken one. Static dirty true. Is it because it's treating it as dynamic? So it's treating, as soon as it treats it as dynamic, which it's because this light's kind of big and I'm within the radius, so it's like, oh, there's a moving object. You know, sometimes I do web design work while I'm, you know, I do that for fun. Okay, so now this one says static case, which it says I'm going to stop rendering. Once it says I'm going to stop rendering, it breaks here, which tells me it's not preserving it. Which has got to be what's happening. It's just not preserving it. And if I go back and set that and then let it go, should get one frame of it. Yep, so there for one frame, it is correct. Just take my word for it on the other screen. Then after that, it's going to be broken because it keeps clearing that target. It shouldn't be. It can be fun. I'm going to disable this clear shadow target just because I'm suspect of it. Because I don't need to be suspect of it. As long as it's not clearing my target, that's all that matters. I'm pretty sure everything that's clearing. You know what? Let me just do that. Just want to be sure that this isn't like causing an issue here. Oh man, I'm always like so ambitious, like, oh, I'm gonna fix this and this today, and then I get stuck with the the bug that won't go away.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Well, not clearing probably doesn't help because it doesn't. The depth is all screwed up, so that won't help it very much. Yeah, I can't do that. I was hoping to use that as a way to tell whether it was screwing things up or not. That's probably not a good way to do that. I can maybe do something a little different. Let's do this. Let's go take our shader, because this clears using a shader. Technique 2. I'm going to have it actually color the areas it clears so that we can tell. No, it's not in there, is it? It's in here. It's this clear pass. Yeah. Have it render green so I can tell that the clear actually worked. So I know if it's clearing an area, it'll be green if that's the case. Come on, thing. Go, go, go. Ha. So everything that's green has had the clear, that clear pass texture happen. So I know places that it's actually clearing. So it's called clear on it. So the fact that it called clear on it suggests that there it's dynamic, here it's static. I think my logic is wrong. I think I might have fixed the problem, but the logic is still wrong. I think when this thing goes from dynamic to static, it does not. It assumes that the static stuff is still working. I think this is just bad logic at this point. I think there's definitely a preserve issue, and I think there's still that problem. But this is a different thing. So I'm going to do that, and then also what was that? this doing? I mean, this is drawing the faces in there, but why is it if it's static only? Oh, if it's static only, the idea was that clear the face, we're going to render all the static stuff, but then this, if it's not static, it's a dynamic thing. This is copying the static buffer over, I see. Yeah. Wait, is it? Yeah, no, it is. It ends down here. I was leaking into that. So yeah, I don't see how this works exactly. That's the target for the shadow. I'm going to skip this right now. I think we just have a bunch of bad logic in here. Again, this is only, I wish I really knew what it, I'm going to have to get a better test here, but I don't know. I'm annoyed by the fact that this still persisting, it's still bothering me that basically that DX12, it was working, or seemed like it was working. Vulkan, it does not, which just tells me, again, it's a platform-specific issue, or a graphics API-specific issue. Come on, thing. Yeah. Okay. I need to get smarter here. It says, hey, dynamic is dirty on this one. Once dynamic is dirty, it turns on. And when it comes here, it's not. Okay. It needs to know that this is the first time it was static previously and now it's not, because of how this works at the moment. I mean, I should probably try to restore what I had previously. So yeah, maybe I need to get back to where I was with this to get it to a good state. I still wonder whether I have something else broken at the Vulkan level, but so the idea was that I have two atlases, static and atlas. Yeah, let's build these up. Let's build these up. Let's not worry about dynamic objects and just have it work on the static objects. I'm going to take this out of being an array. It doesn't need to be one. That was a shitty experiment that I did to try to figure out, like, was that causing some of my performance issues? And, you know, there are other things I could probably be doing there, but it shouldn't be the cause of performance issues. This can go away. I don't need that. Just need one of these guys, not two. We'll worry about that later. Yeah. That's basically saying when I free a shadow, clear the area where the light used to be so that the shadow map looks pretty. You know, if not, it'll leave like partial shadow maps in there. Or old shadow maps in the atlas, so you can't see the dynamic movement of the atlas changing. There's all the code for merging the areas of the atlas together. It's all pretty noodly code. So we're not going to worry about this right now. We'll deal with that in a little bit. I'm not going to worry about that either. Just going to draw shadows for the static objects. Static is dirty, then draw the thing. Static only, first clear the target, and then render the static stuff into it. There's 6 draws of the scene, basically to render the faces. At some point, this could be split up to individually update them. Oh, look at that. It was never freeing this. So that's a leak. I mean, anyways, that's a leak. Right. So the question is does this case fail? And it shouldn't. It clears, draws the static stuff, and that's it. It doesn't render again until it needs to.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
It never renders. It's static, but it never renders. I mean, it's because it's like, well, I don't need to render again because it's static and it shouldn't have changed. Just want to be sure that the logic is right for this. So frustrating. It should be it must be preserving. This has got to be my logic, because like if I do, damn it, come on. I go way out here. Visible lights is 0. It's not drawing anything, but the target's still green. And see how the target's really small when you get distance to it. It's using very small atlases for stuff. But the fact that everything's still green means it's preserving the content. And those things are being drawn statically. I mean, they shouldn't be drawn every frame. One question is, why is static dirty here? It's interesting. No, okay. Let's say, was that like... Oh, those are, that's the physics objects. I think if I look at that, that's going to be the physics objects that are in there. I bet you these, I don't know if I can tell from here, forget. These are parented by the, nope, not you. Yep, those are the physics objects. Let me, get the physics objects out of my scene. Yeah. Oh, some more over here. I deleted the wrong things. That's okay. All right, so those are all gone. So let's run in something. You know, I wonder if it's oh no. Frustrating. Frustrating, but even more and more viewers as I sit here quietly. Is that how that works? Be quietly, just sit here and not do anything. People talk, people watch. So they said, hey, this one's dirty. Let me render it. Interesting. That's a different shadow over there. Robert says, hey, you should proceed change to the demo. Yeah, I want to. Here's the problem that I've been having. These assets are huge. And I've been wanting to push it, but it's like some of these assets are so big, I just don't want to pollute the repo with it. And I have had time to, I have an idea for a good fix for that, but I haven't had time to implement it. And that's why this has kind of been kind of stagnant. And I need to kind of pull it all back and get it into the right state. I just know that if I push these assets in there, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger in a giant repo that we have to deal with in the future. So I've been trying to avoid that. Yeah, I have definitely fixes that are not checked in, but some of it's tied to assets, and that's why I haven't done it. I need to resolve that, and it's a general Git problem, but it's also a problem that we're going to have for this stuff. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, can I actually rebase the whole thing? I mean, I guess I would have to throw away the repo and start over, potentially. Well, get rid of those old commits, I guess, or rewrite history or do something wacky. But I was trying to avoid that. But you're right. I need to solve that. So when it gets here, change happens. This could just be this not putting it in the right place. It's static and it's visible. So it must be deciding, hey, I was visible and now I'm not. I thought I did save that name, did I not? Yeah, it's named. it didn't free it. There's a free. It had a shadow. You know, it's. I wonder if it's that. What's changing sizes? Saying, hey, free it because I'm changing sizes here. And it's saying, hey, I'm going to allocate a new one, mark it as dirty, and write to it. And when it backs up, it's like, hey, I'm going to free the shadow. It marks as dirty again. Application seems reasonable. Still the right light, right? Yep. Must be something simple.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Well, of course, this time it's still there. See, in there, it's not. So the question is why isn't it rendering now? Or why does it think it doesn't need to update it? This just goes to show this code is too complicated. Shouldn't be this hard. Damn it. Sure doing a lot of work for like not wanting to render right now. What happens if I set it to true? Let it render. And it suddenly renders. So there's some basic logic going wrong here. That's the only good reason for this. Why it fails only here and not on DX12, I don't know. It could be that it's, I mean, it's fucking baffling me at this point, but god damn, so fucking annoying. going to be part of this basic thing. Watch. It happens when it downgrades the shadow and says, hey, I want to be a different size. Where's that code? Motherfucker. That was interesting. It's like it. It's like it's losing track of something. Shits and giggles here. I'm going to jump over to DX12 and see what the behavior is right now. I think I'm fighting two different things, and that's what's causing the trouble. I somewhat believe that maybe I'm just zooming over to DX12 real quick. I somewhat believe that maybe there's still it's got to still be a Vulkan issue. While it sometimes seems the logic is flawed, which it possibly is, I think we'll see different behavior here. Like it's solid the whole time. It's the same C# code. All the stuff is the other one. Yeah, I think it is preserving things cost frames, but I think that maybe it's not because we clear and then draw the shadow or the shadow map, and I think that sometimes when it clears and draws the shadow map, it only gets the clear and doesn't draw the shadow maps. It fails on that second part of it. I think that's causing the problem. And the reason that it wouldn't do that is the rendering is getting in its way. Like the rendering is screwing itself up. It's got to be that. Because this is rock solid. The logic should be perfectly fine. It's like only update it when it changes. So I don't think I need to be convinced. This is doing the right thing here. So this is, goddamn, very frustrating. I don't want to leave the stream with this still broken. Let's go back to Vulkan. I had to last time I had to run it from this. I'm gonna turn validation off right now. I don't want it to fuck with me. Capture here real quick. Let's see, where's our okay, well, that starts somewhere. Current target output sets the current target. So that's the previous target. It's restoring the targets. Yeah, I sometimes have to struggle with it. So it's definitely restoring the target. Wait, what? It's not definitely restoring the target. I think it's clearing wrong. Come on, thing. Stop. God damn it. Come on. Like, that's one draw, and I think it cleared the entire target from it. It's actually two triangles here. Is it like not? That's interesting. Yeah, it's clearing the whole thing. Why is it clearing the whole thing? I mean, we do clear before it draws a... But it doesn't. It shouldn't be clearing the entire surface. Let's go take a look.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
Oh shit! I'm in the wrong. I'm in the wrong one. So its target was the 4K target. And just for shits and giggles, let me make sure. I didn't see any purple renderings, so. Damn it, I should turn this on. Current viewport's the full size. It changes it to be just this smaller area. Yeah, so it should just be that corner. Clear VB is just a, yeah. Wait a second. The while screen, I think that's supposed to be whole, but -1 to 3, +1. That should be the entire viewport. Is it not doing viewport clipping, maybe? And drop into the actual draw. Where's... It would have set the viewport. I'm gonna run it again. Assuming that the viewport can be set, I think you can set the viewport before setting render press. I wonder if the pipeline hasn't been set yet. Yeah, I bet you that's a problem. Yeah, I think this is the problem. Hang on a second. Let's try this. It's on device, so that's good. This won't hurt, I don't think. Turn that off there. And then I'm going to set it on oh, it is setting it down here too. Oh, damn it. Viewport has to be set after the pipeline. After the pipeline is set. Just going to do that and see if that changes my behavior. Some of those flickers are kind of weird, huh? And what's weird here is it looks like it's clearing the entire frame, not just the viewport. Which tells me that is it bad? Like, I mean, this works because the transform should transform by that. The there's something about this dynamic state viewport flag. Yeah, that's what I thought. God damn. There's a Vulkan issue here of some sort. But it does seem weird. I would think that this should not be doing this. That, oh shit. That the viewport, damn you. Why is this so difficult to deal with? I think that's just the portion of the screen. I could maybe fix it to, yeah, let's test one other thing here before I call it. It's going to completely break things. But, God damn you, stop it. Ugh. Where'd all my code go? Fucking Visual Studio. That fingered something and it freaking closed everything. No. I don't know if that's going to do what I want it to do. I just want it to happen one time. I mean, that's probably not going to help me. There's something going wrong here. And I'm starting to suspect that the viewport is not rendering properly. But maybe I interpreted the render doc result differently than I should have. This is also a clear enough loading point target. I don't know what it's going to do here. So that's interesting. So you can see the green. I can see the black when it cleared everything. Those are constantly updating, or must be, since I'm clearing every frame. Don't know why that one continues to render every frame. It shouldn't be. It's not set to dynamically do it, but it must be some other code that's causing that. We can see at least that the green is not filling the whole thing. Damn it. Renders properly for one frame. So this is not any of those things. And it looks like the clear only occurred in the area it's supposed to. So that's correct. It's going to go off after I hit F5 here. Well, I'm going to have to call it. That sucks. I feel like I did nothing productive today. Bleh. I mean, I guess I verified that there is still something going on with Vulkan, because this is definitely different behavior than DX12. I mean, heck, even this code, I would think. Switch over to DX12.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn.
I mean, I don't know if I fixed anything. Can't verify that. Interesting. So DX12 has the problem if I clear to black every frame. It looks the same. Oh, not that. Why is it not getting the green color on this? It's kind of interesting. That difference is interesting. I wonder if there's something there. Yeah, I mean, the preserve flag probably did fix something, but it's still not right. And so I have some other fixes in there too to just how those state changes around render targets happen, which fixes some other bugs, which I need to clean it up and get that submitted. There's definitely still something wrong here. Yeah, it's chipping away, but I need it solved now, yesterday. All right. So yeah. Oh man, I hate it. No, I regret it. I wish I would have worked on a different starter kit today. Somewhere I could actually feel like I make progress. So just today is not a progress day, I guess. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to dig into this deeper and see what's going on here. There's obviously something very simple. It could be based on the logic there. I mean, there is a difference now between DX12 and Vulkan that it renders differently with the same C# code at the high level. So I'd like to find out why that is. Because that could have some sort of hint towards what's happening here. Getting this all organized is going to be helpful. And I do need to get back to being very efficient with my shadow renders. That's where a lot of the time is spent, is rendering shadows for no reason. When I have so much heavy geometry, getting that right is important. So I definitely need to fix it so that it goes back to what it was doing originally, which is, the idea was that it renders all the static objects into one shadow map, and then it renders the dynamic objects into another, but after it copies the static shadow map data into the dynamic shadow map. So it's kind of like update the static shadow map only when you have to, then the dynamic shadow map, whenever it needs to be updated, it combines the static shadow map with the dynamic to get the final map. And that would give you the ability to have just render a couple dynamic objects in a largely static scene, which is what you want. That, you know, reduces your amount of draws that you do every frame. So that'd be a good thing. And I was also going to, you know, basically only update the cube map faces that actually modified. So if a dynamic object is only one face, I only have to update that one face instead of updating all the faces. Little things like that would help, you know, with performance. So yeah, those are the things that still need to be worked on. But this here is just baffling me. So yeah, I have to just go back to the drawing board here and diagnose it. If I can diagnose here what's happening with DX12 and it not rendering the green like the other one is, that might help me understand what's going wrong. Because it should be rendering green there and it's not, which tells me that something is a little off. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching. Wish it could have been more productive, have some more wow stuff to show. But it is what it is. As always, follow us on Twitch and YouTube. We're always looking to expand our viewers there. And MonoGame's an open source project. We function solely through donations of people's time, money, efforts, attention. You know, those are always important. Even though the times are tough right now for everybody, I think that donating your time is a totally valid way to do it. That could be as simple as going through our bug reports, and if you see something that's a bug that you know how to fix, jumping in and fixing it, or just telling your friends about MonoGame that are interested in game dev. That helps too. All right, everybody. Well, thank you, and I'll see you next time. Bye.